Today we are just working on some various yard projects, and the first thing we're going to do is work at the top where my vegetable garden is. We're giving it a big reset this year, and there's some things that we need to do before we put our fencing back up. So I'm going to walk up there and see what's happening. We're up here at my top garden, and we've torn out all the fencing because some of them had snapped. We knew it was going to be temporary. And also the weed pressure was so bad up here last year that even though I weeded it several times, nothing would really grow. They couldn't outcompete the weeds. So we've had it tarped up to this point. But we're going to go ahead and till it up before we put our fencing back up. And then after it's tilled and after the fencing's back up, we'll probably lay our tarps back out until it's planting time. And so he's just removing the tarps and all the random stuff we had holding the tarps down so the wind wouldn't move them, even though the wind still got to some of them. Anywhere where you see green, that's because the wind had blown the tarp off of that spot. Anywhere where it looks like hay, that's where the tarp stayed firmly in place.
Open wide, headed for the highway, hitching me a ride. Gather over time. With a baggie in my pocket, fresh dirt on my shoes, strolling down a back road, singing Grateful Dead tunes. I'm just a drifter, like smoke from a flickering flame, but I follow where the fireflies whisper my name. You can call it strange,
We've got all the tarp and the old fencing and all the random debris pulled up from the field behind me. So Dalton's going to rake it with a rake. I don't know why I needed to specify what with, but he's going to rake out the field and then he's going to till it. And in the meantime, right over here in my pathway up to this garden, I've got peonies flanking both sides, and I really need to weed around them and then mulch, so that way it's obvious where they are, because right now they're just in amongst all the weeds and all the grass and all that stuff. But if I do this, if I weed it and then get it mulched, it will make them obvious, and it'll make them easier to weed eat around and mow around and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go start working on that. And then we'll come up here in a little bit and see how this field's coming along.
But I call it my world, and it sure feels great. I had a chat with a trucker who gave me a lift. She told me the open road was life's greatest gift. Played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me over the tiller. I'm just going to kind of walk you down and show you what I did. I guess I'm in the wrong direction because my shadow is over everything. But I dug out the peonies. And then on this side as well. So now that they're dug out, I just need to go get some mulch and cardboard and mulch around them. Alright, now let me show you where we're at with the tilling that just got started. So one whole row's done. He's almost to the end of that row. And a lot more of it would have been done, but he had to run to town to get some bolts or something to put the extended tines on so he could do a wider swath at a time. If it weren't for that, more of this would be done at the moment. Alright, I will check in here in a bit. This is what got done on the tilling today because we ran out of gas. So we will come and finish this a different day. We've been up here literally all day working. And we're ready to go in and get some food. We still have to go to the grocery store, so this part of the workday is done. Whenever this gets finished, we're going to cover it back up with all the tarps and let any seeds that were brought up to the surface kind of get solarized. Okay. And I got all my peonies mulched around. I laid down cardboard and then mulch. And it took literally all day because it was 1 bucket per peony. And I had to carry it by hand. You can see my buckets laying down there still. But they're all mulched around. There's a good chance that I will get mulch to fill in the gaps between the peonies. So that way it's one solid line of mulch. But for me right now, the most important thing was just getting them all surrounded. Since I took the time to get them weeded, I just wanted to make sure they all had mulch around them and none of them were left bare because I weeded them down to bare ground. And in years past, I've done that and not had the energy to get them mulched, and I regretted it because they will fill back in quickly with weeds. So it took way longer than I expected. I really thought that this would take much less time, but I've been out here for probably 5 or 6 hours now working on weeding, carrying mulch, preparing cardboard, getting like all the tape off of it. And it's been a rather long day, so I guess I'm going to call this quits right here, and we will pick up on the next one, which may be tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, so it might not be, but whenever we get back out to the garden or when I get back to my greenhouse, I will bring you along with me. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.